Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Strategy 703, the one and only Jolton of Gaming, coming back again with some more Pokemon Showdown action. This is our Week 5 match against the Tottenham Espurrs in the IPSA for your Milotic. I will leave a link to Doom's channel in the description if you want to watch some more of this content. As you can see on the screen before you, I'm trying a bit of a different layout. I was just playing around with OBS. If you like this a little bit more than just the regular setup, just comment down below, and I'll keep making up these cool little backgrounds for the videos. But anyway, this happened before Christmas break, so I don't actually have the team to go over before the match, but you can see my team on the right, and you can see his team down below, as well as in the replay itself. So I brought Jolteon, Terrakion, Amoonguss, Mamoswine, Porygon 2, and Mega Bayonet, and he brought his Crobat, Kyurem Black, Klefki, Manaphy, Moltres, and Reuniclus. He also had on his team, in terms of big threats, I won't go over absolutely everything, but two other big threats that I was considering him bringing were Rotom-Mow and Goodra. Those two were also definitely on my mind. So, from team preview, I was really confident going into this game. My team took his on really well. I was running a Psych Up, especially offensive Porygon 2. It was still bulky, but it was especially offensive with Tri-Attack, which were great subs from Kyurem Black. I had Ross on Mamoswine, so I could get my Ross up first, and that really hurt the Moltres, that really hurt the Crobat, really hurt the Kyurem. I couldn't switch in all the time. Bayonet was a really good lead in this matchup. I was running Taunt, Knockoff, Gump Shot. I think it was a Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp. So thanks to Will-O-Wisp, nothing too special. Mammoslide was lead Ross. I think I had its Scarf, Ross, Superpower, Ice Full Crash, Earthquake, something like that. Terrakion was offensive at Scissor, Close Combat Ross Slide. Jolteon, I can't remember exactly. It's been a while. I think I had leftovers Jolteon that game, but it could have easily been Spets or Scarf. And then Amoonguss was just standard bulky Amoonguss, Clear Smog, all that jazz. And Spore, of course, to just take on the Manaphy. But yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to get into the game. He leads with his Manaphy. I bring the Mamoswine. I don't really have a good switch in except for Amoonguss, and if he predicts my switch and goes for the Tail Glow, then I'm in a lot of trouble. I can bring my Jolteon in, but again, I don't really want to risk sacking off my Amoonguss, which is kind of my check to this thing, like turn 1. So instead, I'm just going to go for first turn Ross. He goes for the Tail Glow, and he's just going to go ahead and kill my Mamoswine, which sucks, but at the same time, it was probably the best play that I had. I just bring the Jolteon, force him out because I'm faster. He goes to his Klefki, and I just go for the Volt Switch. That does 46%, so I'm assuming that he's more defensive than specially defensive. He shows the leftovers. I get my Mega off, and I just go for the knockoff, probably to get rid of those leftovers. He reveals the safety goggles on the Crobat, which means that he definitely prepped for the Amoonguss with Spore. Like that's all I can think of that he would actually have safety goggles for. And I mean, a Crobat beat Amoonguss anyway. Like Amoonguss was not that good in terms of his matchup. It was only really good against the Manaphy. So whatever. I go for the Will-O-Wisp and burn his Crobat, effectively making it useless as a Brave Birder, and then I go for the Prankster Taunt so he can't defog the Ross away, or roost off the burn damage. I decide to switch out into my Jolteon. He just goes for the U-turn, brings in his Kyurem Black, and I just go for the Volt Switch again, not really wanting to mess around. And I just go into my Porygon 2, Confi, he goes for Roost. I do believe I'm Analytic, so Analytic instead of Trace. It's not Trace, obviously, but so that I can actually do a lot of damage with those tri-attacks. Here, I just fire off another tri-attack. Does a pretty decent amount of damage. I make a bad play. He actually reads me pretty perfectly. No, I guess he predicted that I was going to bring Psycho for his Mana Fee, just off of habit. So he makes a good call to go into Scald, try and get that burn. He doesn't get it, but I waste a turn psyching up when I could have just been going for this. He just goes for the heal veil to heal up his Crobat. I go for more damage, and he's just going to sack off his Crobat as death fodder, and Porygon 2 gets a kill. This is really pivotal. He can't defog his Rots away, which means that Moltres, it's taking a lot of damage on switch in, and it's not that fast. So something like, for example, something like Terrakion or Jolteon can just easily revenge kill it if it decides to come in and Fire Blast my Moongus for something, especially considering Moongus wasn't really that useful in this game. Kyurem's taking a lot of damage, so it can't effectively just come in, tank hits, and then like fire off attacks or whatever. It's not going to be able to do that, especially because I do have P2 just walling this entire team. He really has nothing for P2 right now. So, yeah, and basically it was just the Reuniclus that was standing in my way, and if I could get rid of the Reuniclus, then I won the game. So, he's going to sack off his Crobat, and he does go into Reuniclus, showing that it is Magic Guard, and he starts setting up Calm Minds. And at this point, right there, I'm so bad at countering setup. I think I'm probably the worst league trainer to ever deal with setup, because I've dealt with it 4 or 5 times. This is the second match against Doom that I've had to deal with him trying to set up. He brought 2 Mons with setup, one with Tail Glow and another with Calm Mind. And here I'm just like, I don't want to go into my Bayonet and risk it dying, because I want my Bayonet to Will-O-Wisp that Kyurem, in case it is physically offensive. I want my Bayonet to taunt the Klefki, but right here, the correct play should have been to go into my Bayonet. Should have been to go into my Bayonet last turn, as soon as he brought the Reuniclus in, knowing exactly what he was intending, and I should have just gone for the taunt, and then let that be the end of it. Like, he gets to +1, big deal. But instead, me, being an idiot, thinks I can keep up with this guy, think I'm smart. Right now, I'm just pretty much fishing for a confusion and psyching up and just trying to get to +4 while he's getting to +4, because I'm just that bad with setup. It's really bad. The only thing that was even keeping me in it at this point was the fact that I did have that analytic boost, but he had Psyshock. I was not going to be able to. He was going to be able to take me out long before I could take him out, and yeah, I completely misplayed here. Again, setup. This is the second time that setup has happened to me, and I've just like allowed it to happen. He's just gonna recover me out. Gets to +4. I'm not even going to bother psyching him up anymore. As you can see, that did 90.3% damage, so it's a 2-hit KO. There's no point recovering. I'm just trying to get as much damage as I can onto this Reuniclus before I die. But he's smarter than that. He's just going to heal up to full, and I'm going to just let P2 go down. Again, it was just really bad. And then I go for the knockoff, and he reveals that he is Colberberry. And that seals the game, because if he wasn't Colberberry, if he was, I don't know, like Weakness Policy, I don't, like, Leftovers is the usual Reuniclus set, but I could see him being something like Magic Guard Life Orb. If he was Magic Guard Life Orb there, I would be able to knock it off, get it to low, and then switch into my Terrakion and then kill it. But instead, because he's Colberberry, he's just going to Psyshock me, and I die. He's at 50%. I have to go for the Yes Scissor. He lives it because he's obviously defensive, and then that happens. I make a bad play here. I'm just trying to, like, I don't even know. Again, a bad play. I've made a lot of bad plays in terms of, like, oh, I'm going to lose, but I'm not going to maintain any sort of differential. I should have just gone for the Shadow Ball there. I think I was just freaking out at this point, just being like, oh, what can I do? But if I had used Shadow Ball, I did have it on the set. That Reimpulse would have been dead, and it would have been a 4-0 instead of a 3-0, which sucks. And then Jolteon's just going to go down to a Psyshock, and that is a 5-0 for Doom of the Tottenham Espurrs, which puts us solidly in third in our division, which is unfortunate because this was a really, really, really important game, and I just allowed myself to get swept by Reimpulse. Happens to a lot of people, but just next time, hopefully it won't get set up on. So yeah, we're going to have to fight back against Keystar. Spoiler alert, actually, before I get into this, because this is post-recording, and a long post-recording, this is actually after Christmas break. I'm back at university, and it's January right now. It's like January the 7th. So Keystar, because he's been really inactive in this league is probably going to die after Season 1, to be honest. But because Keystar's been so inactive in this league, he's been removed as a member. So I got a forfeit. So I got a 3-0 forfeit, and actually Doom was not, I guess he was on vacation or something. He's just been really inactive, so he actually forfeited. So this game kind of evened out. Kind of. Like, it's still kind of questionable. The Week 10 rematch against him might actually be the difference maker after all. I'm not that far behind anymore. But yeah, so that was the match. I just wanted to upload that to keep you guys on track, and I'll let you know how things have been going. And yeah, so until next time, guys, peace.